Aniket, you will give the introduction, or I will start?
I will give introduction, sir. I will introduce you also. Okay, we will start with our presentation. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Aniket from EDS Technologies, and I will be your host for today. First of all, we thanks each and everyone for joining our webinar, Control and Guarantee Your Quality of Design and Product Data Structure. So now I would like to introduce Mr. Srikumar Maganti. He has more than 23 years of experience in engineering, application servicing, transportation and mobility, aerospace and defense. Uh, he's he worked on site with clients like Ashok Leyland, Daimler, ADA, Tech Mahindra, Sand. He specialized in technology sales, corporate training, and technical support. He's a certified global professional on PLM digital experience platform. He's topper in automotive engineering from Gulbarga University and has a master's in CAD, CAM, CAE, and mold designing from CIPET. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Aniket. Good afternoon, everyone. Today's webinar is on control and guarantee your quality of designs and product data structures. So I will start with a brief introduction on EDS technologies. So we have been there in this Indian market for the last 30 years, providing engineering solutions to Indian market and customers. We are cut across 12 industry segments, and we provide our solutions with respect to design, simulations, manufacturing, and also the product lifecycle management. So we are enabling the adoption of virtual twin and also geospatial analytics, basically the GIS platform, and also we are into L2 manufacturing, which is 3D printing technologies. So we provide metal and polymer printers, which are industrial functional printers meant for batch productions. And also we are platinum partners with Dassault Systems for last 25 years, and we have been providing complete range of Dassault Systems solutions with respect to brands like CATIA, which is basically the product design excellence software for the CAD platforms, and also Enovia, basically meant for PLM, and also Delmia, which is digital enterprise lean manufacturing interactive application, basically to provide end-to-end manufacturing solutions, say in the areas of like process planning, factory floor simulations, assembly simulations, human ergonomics, robotics, and machining. So we are into every aspect of manufacturing, and also we are providing complete range of realistic simulation solutions using the brand called Simulia. So using this Simulia, we are able to perform all ranges of complex simulations spanning structural, thermal, acoustic, NVH, and also electromagnetic radiation simulations, etc. And we have been providing these solutions for many customers, cutting across industry segments like transportation, mobility, aerospace and defense, and also industrial equipment, mining, and also into high-tech and electronics, consumer goods, etc. And we are headquartered in Bangalore, with our presence in almost like 10 locations, cutting across Pune, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Chennai, Coimbatore, and also in Noida, Gurugram, and Ahmedabad and Kolkata. So we have our offices spread across all these locations, with Bangalore being headquarters. And we are almost like 240 employees, so associates in the organization. We cater to more than 2,000 customers across India. We have given our software solutions to more than 5,000 customers till date, and we continue to provide world-class training and technical support to these 2,000 plus active customers. And we also provide solutions under Synopsys, basically meant for power electronics and embedded systems domain, and also we provide visual simulation solutions, basically meant for capturing event simulations, especially for military and aerospace and defense. So we have been catering to multiple range of solutions for multiple industry segments across India over the last 30 years. So this is a brief introduction about EDS technologies. I'll move on to today's context of the webinar, that is control and guarantee the quality of designs and product data structures. So basically, every every industry segment looks forward to strong, excellent quality designs, coming out of their system. So in order to ensure error-free designs, we need to have a quality checking system or a quality checking criteria which needs to be set, and it has to be followed, so that you don't have any problems with respect to downstream applications. So this is the main intention with which we are trying to provide this tool, which is inbuilt into 3D experience platform on CATIA. So using this, you are able to check say geometry checks or methodology checks, or it could be norms and standards of a given organization. We're able to run through this check criteria and find out all the errors or defects, solve them in such a way that you have the completely error-free design, which will ensure all your further downstream applications are benefited. So basically, any kind of recall in the market is always a big loss to the organization in terms of time and cost. So in order to avoid these recalls, we need to ensure this defect-free design right from the beginning. So this is where today's webinar is going to focus on that. So we have tools to address which are inbuilt into CATIA, which will provide the error-free designs using this environment. So I will give small introduction about our speaker. Mr. Sam Anthony has a vast experience of 18 years in this industry. Especially, he has been associated with automotive industry as well as energy process utilities segment, and he is involved in multiple stages of design, new product development, and also validation, product validation, simulations, and also product lifecycle management. So he is industry process consultant manager representing Dassault Systems, who is going to take this webinar today with respect to the quality, what do you call the quality checking software, which is inbuilt into CATIA 3D experience. Over to you, Sam Anthony.
Thank you, Shri Kumar. Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is
Yeah, very
visible.
much. Yeah, it's very much visible.
Once again, good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Shri Kumar, for this organizing this webinar. So, before we just step into this webinar, though we had a brief intro, what we feel is so this quality is one key aspect which we see not only with OEMs, even the largest tier one suppliers and new startups, everyone has a big challenge in how to achieve the quality within my team. So we thought of having this one webinar, which we felt it would be very much useful for the larger audience. So 3D experience logo, whatever you see here, whatever Sri Kumar was talking on Ketia, it all comes from the platform. We call it in general, and this has now been widely adopted with industries. And that is one reason we thought we will showcase this particular portfolio to people to understand how they can achieve quality in their design process. So before we just step into these details, I would like to just roughly touch base on the key challenges which we normally commonly come across with any company. See, for example, this to start with, having a consistent design or engineering would be a big challenge. See, we all know that we will have a talent pool from different parts of the country, and naturally having a common way of approaching a design is always a challenge, which every industry wants to have, but they are still trying to achieve that. So how I can have and how these tools will help me in that aspect. So that is one key challenge which we see. And the other aspect is achieving things right in the first time. So I believe these the people who have joined in this webinar would be from larger tier one suppliers who naturally will have a legacy of 30, 40 years in the industry, where you may have a lot of best practices lying with different people's knowledge. So how an organization can capture all the knowledge that they have gained in the past 30, 40 years into the CAT system, that is always a myth or a challenge. So if that is made feasible, achieving things right in the first time is easy to achieve, not a big task. So that is the other challenge which we come across with every industry. The other thing, as I told you, how I can automate this. So I have some knowledge with people who are there in the company for 15, 20 years, how I can capture those and how I can automate that. So these three aspects we thought we would take as a challenge and present the solutions around it, how it can be helpful for the customers to take it up. So when we talk on these aspects, so this quality rules portfolio, which we are going to talk on next 20, 30 minutes, will show a glimpse how this is going to help you. And we have many customers globally who have used this, and they have reduced their design cycle times, and they are able to achieve the challenges whatever we discussed earlier. So with no delay, I'll just step into this portfolio. So what this quality rules is basically, before I just explain on the slide, let me try to give you a small brief. Normally this is behaving in such a way that so you will have a set of checks. So to make it very simple, so I may need multiple checks that has to be on the drafting side, or before I release a drawing sheet to the manufacturing, I should do some basic checks, quality checks. It can be whether the uh, dimensions or tolerances are given properly, or whether the revision table is given with the proper information, or the needed the revision number or the part number is given a proper syntax. There can be any aspect to it. So this is only on the drafting aspect I'm telling. So it can be on the 3D part. So see, for example, before my design engineer moves the data to a simulation team, there should be a set of checks that he has to do. Like there should not be any failed features, and there should not be any inconsistent or under constraint geometry, or the fastness or the set of components that he has used should be only used from the standard component. So there can be many as such. So how I'm going to create these things as a quality aspect. So to achieve that, we have a role under this portfolio or our flow called as the quality rules manager. So basically, people in the team or managers will take a role of this particular uh, task, and what they will do is they will kind of set the team's quality checks. See, for example, I have a harness team. So what are all the set of checks they have to undergo? And I have a uh, got an NPD team. So what are all the standard checks they have to undergo? So all those things can be created or formulated by this manager. So what he will basically do is he will just open a dashboard and just create all these checks, how he want the teams to perform, and then he will move it to the individual teams. So then later they will be using those checks to run through the data and get things validated. So we have a few other roles as well. So quality rules content user, basically he would be the end user who would be consuming those checks and performing the activities on the and data and submitting the quality reports to the manager. So what I would do is maybe, yeah, this slide will give you a better idea. So this is the workflow. So as I was mentioning in my earlier slides, so this particular piece, quality rules administrator or manager, he will create a check profile basically, and then those checks will be promoted to the respective teams with the different severity conditions. Say, for example, uh, the basic geometry checks should be completed first, and only then the data can be moved to an assembly level or a drawing level. So if the quality doesn't meet the basic criteria of the model, the 3D level, so the checks will be cut short or denied. So it will not be, data will not be consumed by the other team. So in that way, the manager plays a role. And once those checks are being created, it will be consumed by different users. And those users will again just will be able to run through those checks and perform the various activities. So that can be another scenario. Say, for example, you want to have a customized checks. As I was mentioning you may not be always having some standard or global best practices within your organization. You may have some customized need as well. So in that case, how I'm going to take that into the software? Because any tool that comes by default, it cannot take the organization specific challenges or know-hows, right? So how that can be taken care? So for that, we have the top layer. So that is mainly meant for creating the customized checks. So in the manager, or that can be a person who can be assigned for this activity. So he will be basically creating the customized checks, and those customized checks again can be reallocated to individual team members, how they want to consume those. So for this, we have a role in the portfolio as templates and rules designer. So what this will basically do is it can be used to templatize your standard workflows. You can create your own customized quality checks that can be consumed by different teams, and the same can be life cycle management of that particular check also can be done. Life cycle management in the sense, so that checks can be again re-audited, revisited, and it can be keep updating. That also can happen. So all these combination of these three roles does the job. And for quick understanding, let me take you through a short video. So this video is just to give you a understanding how the interface basically looks like. So what you see here is basically the 3D experience user interface. So again, as I mentioned you, I'm right now the login, what you're seeing is the manager login. So it can be accessed through the web layer also. Uh, it is not necessary that, because maximum of the managers, they will not have the engineering machines as their PCs, right? So in that case, how this can be easily adopted. So that's the reason we came up with a web layer. So what you see is the browser page. Basically, you will log in with your credentials. So again, 3D Experience platform, it has multiple layers of security to it. Maybe this session I cannot talk too much on that. So maybe on later sessions we can plan something on platform as well. So here what we are trying to do is manager once he log in, so he is trying to create a profile. Sorry. Give me a moment. Sorry. This is not allowed. So we are creating a profile. So basically the profile is created. So here we are giving the various set of weightages to the checks. So I'm just trying to create the list of checks. So as I told you, there are by default OOTB checks, out of the box checks. So I am trying to just reuse those checks. So any company for this matter, they will have to use the out of the box checks for some aspect. And again, as I told you, you can very well create the customized checks also. So I'm just trying to add two checks with conditions, whether it should be a warning or it should be a stop condition. So this is the data on which we want to run the check. I'm choosing the profile which I want to select for the check. So it basically gives you a report. So here I have given a total weightage, like if the cumulative is not more than 80, it has to stop and it should not pass on. So here you can see many are with the green color. So those are past checks, and things what you see on the red is on the failed checks. So now I'm trying to do the checks for sketch profiles. Earlier it was for the assembly, and this is for the check sketch levels. So similar to this, you can have a check profile for multiple other applications or teams also. So here these sketches are not properly constrained or defined. So I'm trying to drill down directly and resolve the issue. So this is other good aspect actually. So you need not skip off the tool and resolve it. And this is the quality metrics that the manager can see. So whether my team has achieved the quality in the first time or they have iterated many times to achieve the quality, all those historical data can be seen using this aspect. So this is very short glimpse of what is there in the quality rules portfolio. So again, I'm just coming back here just for a refresh on what we discussed, aligning the stuff that we have shown in the video and remapping that with the workflow. So we were able to see the creation of profile for managing the quality aspects for various applications and adding the checks. So adding of checks to the profile was done carried out later. So then we will give a severity to those checks. See, for example, some checks I don't want to be a roadblock or a stopper. Just it should give me a heads up. Say for example, I have not put some description like whether it's a bought out part or it's a uh, uh, we have developed the part. Those kind of description I have not entered. It should just give me a warning. But some checks are quite critical, which has to be stopped. So those severity conditions we were giving that in the workflow. And once those things are done, then later those profiles are promoted to the users for using it. So the user can be from different team. So this is in context to that video. We were able to look for which checks I have to run through the data, run the check and submit the report. Once you submit the report, the manager can visualize that in a live monitor tool. So that is mainly to understand the historical data. As I told you earlier, whether my team is able to achieve things right in the first shot or they are reiterating or keep changing, and how is the quality aspect is getting improved within my team. So that can be again understood by the manager. So this is the basic workflow. And as I told you, by default, 3D Experience platform comes with a lot of checks in it that will that can be readily used. And this particular portfolio was introduced to the industry way back in 2021, and now it has gained a lot of global attraction and R&D in India. It's they keep improving the checks, and we have close to 2,000 plus checks available in the portfolio, which can be very well used by the uh, uh, customers. And again, as I told you, if you want, if you're open to customize the checks as well, the software has the capability, and we can very well help you on that aspect as well. So with that, I just stop this presentation. Any questions you can ask? Um,
Okay, sir.
yes. So if people have more queries, I have few other live demonstrations also. I would like to deep dive into those. So that's the reason I just stopped here. Based on the queries, we can take up the other topics.
Mm, I think we can go ahead with our demonstration, sir, as of now.
Sure. Okay. So this you're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, yes, we can.
So this is a detailed version. Maybe as we have time, maybe we can look into that. So this is to give you more understanding. So this is typically how we normally work on the tool. So as I told you, we can by default you have a set of checks. So I am what you are seeing is we are trying to just import those set of checks, and this particular task will be done by the manager. So once we have imported those set of checks, I'm just trying to open up that and have a view at the list of checks that are available. So what you see here are the OOTP checks that comes by default. So here you can see various checks like check specific to drafting is there, check specific to access system, assembly, and if you just go down, drill down it, yeah, you can see the 3D modeling checks as well. So these are the typical OOTP checks. So every check would have subtopics as well. So what I was telling you earlier, right? We have 2,000 plus checks. So every checks will have various other subdividing topics also. Uh, so just this is just to give you a glimpse how it all looks like. So this comes by default uh, with your license. So these whatever custom checks we are just showcasing is can be consumed directly by the customers. So now we are just trying to showcase you a custom check. Basically, I want to create a custom check. How is the process? Because now normally what happens is customers keep asking us, is the creation of custom checks is a lengthy process or a time killing activity? Because maximum of the customers, they want to include more of their company specific checks. So here what I'm trying to showcase is we are creating some customized checks. So for the interest of time, we have just fastened it up. So I'm creating checks for two programs or two projects, project A and project B. So inside project A, I'm trying to add a customized checks. So this comes with by default with one of our software language, what we call it as EKL. Let me show that. Yes. Give me a moment. Yes. So what you see on the screen is the customized checks that we have created. So what we have, uh, what I'm trying to create is a small customization I have done on the description. So this particular check has to check the program A, where the description should have this particular note, kind of. So this we have taken as a very simple example. So the language would typically look like this. We can help you on that, not a problem. So with a basic, very simple if else statement or how you want the check to perform. So that I have just created. Similar to this, we will be creating the checks and preconditions. I'm just moving forward. So here, these are other set of custom checks that we have created. So once we are done with the creation of those custom and OOTP checks, the typical process is, as I mentioned you, manager would log in to the dashboard and create a profile. So this profile is specific to program A. So here one aspect is, see, for example, in your company, you may have different projects, different teams. So the program A will be executed by a set of team. So the check what you create for this program A need not to be needed for the program B. So how I'm going to control that? So with this kind of checks specific to one particular program, you can create and deploy that in the data setup. Data setup is something that is available on the platform. So that will take care of all those things. So the team who is working on program A will see only the checks assigned to them. The team working on program B, they will be able to see the checks that are assigned only to them. So in that way, you can avoid that the checks created for a different team is being consumed by other team will not happen. So that also is being taken care by the 3D experience platform by default. So this particular weightage is something which the manager has to do. So if uh, the checks are coming with a error code which is more than 80, 80 is a number, generally we call it in the software, it will turn with a KO. KO is the opposite of OK. So then the check will stop. So the next successive checks will not happen. And if the weightage is 1, so then it will give just a warning message. So you can accept it or you can react to it. It is again based on the team how you want to have that. So these things then later they will define. So once those weightage are defined, then we have something called as the processing groups. So processing group is something like, so there will be a begin and end. So what you see here is the begin and end for the entire process. So maybe we will add some checks and then we'll come back to that. So here, as I told you, we am trying to create a profile only for program A. So I am trying to just add the custom checks. Whatever you see here is the custom check that I have created. So once you create the custom checks using this EKL or whatever stuff is there, it will automatically uh, get reflected here. So here the custom check what I have created is, say for example, I am doing a design that is not for the production. It is a study project. So in that case, those projects should have a sorry, description mentioning as it is applicable only for the study project kind of. So that kind of check I have created as the customized check. Now I'm going for the OOTP checks. Whatever you see on the right are the by default checks that come in the CATIA 3D experience. I'm choosing them also. So what I'm trying to show here is you can have both a combination, customized checks plus the OOTP checks. So now I have created some 6 checks in this workflow. I'm adding another processing group. Processing groups are mainly used basically for, say, for example, if my basic checks are clear, only then it will go to the next level checks. I can give some conditions, preconditions. That is also possible. Say, for example, if you take a very larger program in any OEM side where I have personally worked, so what happens is they will have hundreds of checks. So the tool, the user cannot wait until all the entire set of checks is done and give him a report. So at times it may happen that the second check will have a failure. So to avoid those things, we have the processing groups. So club the checks on the priority wise or the program wise, however you want to have it, and accordingly create the programming processing groups. So that will save a lot of time. So here I'm trying to add a few things for electrical aspect, 3D modeling aspect. Few on drafting also. So almost I'm touching all the aspects of any industry if you take. So typically they will be working on 3D modeling, product, electrical, drafting, all those stuff. So we'll try to cover all those aspects. So in each everything there are different checks and the way you configure. So those are documented properly and we can help you on that as well, not a problem. I'm defining for each check how it should behave, what it should look for. So name of the active sheet should be always sheet.1. It should not be a different sheet. So these kind of checks I'm creating for drafting. So these are one-time activity. It is not that you have to keep repeating this. It is only at the time of creating the profile you have to spend some time. So now if you see, you have a total of 47 checks. Now I'm trying to add the next processing group. Again, I'm trying to add few checks there. Maybe I'll just move this. Okay. So now I'm trying to put some condition. So if the previous processing group is having more 80, only then it will move on to end. So these kind of preconditions I can add. So I'm just tagging that precondition with this loop. So basically what it will do is basic checks will run the 6 checks. Then it will look for whether the weightage is more than 80. If it is more than 80, it will automatically end this entire flow. So you can save the time in running the unwanted checks. So you will the team will go back, look for the design changes, what they have to do, then they will reiterate. So you can save a time. So that's the purpose of having these preconditions. So once those are done, so we are doing the precondition for other steps. Now we are trying to run that through the, it has been promoted to the users now. So manager work is done. So now what happens is, so once the user is trying to do this quality check, he will get this drop down list. So what are all the profiles assigned to him? So QRC means quality rule check profile. See right now, the one which we updated as of now is the program A quality check. Similar to that, there are a number of checks assigned to him. Still, if you want to control this, you don't want to have this many checks, it's doable. The software can be configured in such a way that it can manage that. So he's choosing the checks which he want to do. Again, there is a description still for you to re-verify that am I running the proper check or not. So once the description is matching your requirement, then you will just click on the run. So I got the report. So because of the failure in the precondition, So the preliminary 6 check itself didn't qualify for the 80 metric weightage. So it has stopped all the subsequent checks because of the precondition whatever we have defined. So all maturities are stopped. Now what I'm doing is I had a custom check, right? Like if I add a description mentioning that, so this is mainly for a study project. So then it will automatically bypass or it will get this thing done. See, now it has given all through. So this is again the organization has to design. So just for demo purpose, we have given this as the option because every company we have seen they have a practice of doing this trial projects. For trial projects, it's not mandated that it has to check few things. So that's the reason we put that as a option to rule few things out. The good part here is on the top right, you can see there is an update symbol. So what that update symbol basically will do is it is not necessary that any changes, if you want to do, you have to close this, go back to the design, do the changes, come back and run. So you can parallelly, you can just run the changes, whatever you want to do, because the CAD is in front of you. You're not working in a different isolated environment. So once you do the change, you can just click on this update symbol, what you see on the right with the rounded arrows. So that will automatically update the report. So in that way, you can save a lot of time. So I'm saving all these reports. So this particular 3D experience platform, it has a base layer of PLM or PDM by default. So what it does is whatever files you are saving in context with one particular file name or item number, it will be always tagged to that particular file. So this report, whatever I save now, it has tagged with that particular enterprise or item number. So I can see the cumulative reports. See by 3 o'clock I have done a report. By 3:31 I have done a report. If you want, you can very well always go and look for the previous reports. This is from the user side. So now the same check I am running for the drafting aspect. So choose the same. So after I click on run, there was a small delay in the validation. That is because data by default, it will be in the visualization mode in platform. It has to come to design mode. That's the reason for the delay. It will load the data. So now I'm doing the checks for isometric. So here you can see there are some plus symbols on the right side. So this is an interesting feature in quality control. See, for example, few of the checks you can give the correction aspect also. See here, see lock isometric view should be always locked. That was a check I have added actually. If you want to resolve, there is a solution also in the nearby. If you click that, it will automatically do the job. So the user don't want to go out and do the things and come back. So this is available for whichever checks it is possible. So this is on the data setup, which I told you earlier. So assigning the quality check profiles to the relevant team. So this is too much on data setup side, so I'm just skipping those. So I thought maybe if any questions come up in that side to counter that, I had this informations, but this is doable. So once these things are done, so this is on life cycle side. So data has to be should not be in work stage. It has to be in frozen or release stage. All those stuffs. Now I'm coming to the manager view. So once the team has completed their metrics and they have saved the results, so I'm searching for that particular project. So it gives me the results. 3 results are available. I'm just drag dropping that. So here you can see specific to all the profiles, you can see how the weightage is achieved And if we go and see history, it will show initially there was some challenge, and later the user resolved and they were able to neutralize this. So that's about this. I think this demonstration could have been a longer one and gave you a detailed understanding. So with that, I'm just opening this session for Q&A. Any questions you can just ask us.
Yes, hi, Anthony. So we have couple of questions. So the first question is, to what extent can the rules be customized to fit specific industry or organizational needs?
Yeah, so this I think I tried to answer this couple of times during my demonstration itself. I think we have done this customization to or creating custom checks with many customers across the globe. So it is doable. Maybe we need to sit and understand in detail what all things you can do. But as of now, if you talk on CATIA on the functional side, so checks are available by default for 3D modeling, product structure, drafting, electrical, sheet metal. Most widely used, almost all workbenches have by default OOTB checks. Our vision is to have everything on OOTB because being a 40-year-old company on solution provider, so we do understand and we work with all logic OEMs. So we are keep improvising the OOTB checks. The plan is to reduce the customer to think of custom checks, thereby reducing the effort they have to put. But yes, we can tool has the support or the ability to create custom checks because the CKL language is our own language, which can talk with any APIs for that matter. So there should not be any limitation. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, sir. So we have one more question with us. So what reporting capabilities does it offer to track compliance and quality metrics?
Compliance and quality metrics. Okay. So here, if I understand it right, maybe I will just go back to the thing what I explained during my demonstration also. So here the quality aspect that it takes care is on the design aspect. From the beginning of the project till the project is completed, the entire quality aspect that in the context of design, it can take care. The reason why we as of now kept it only with the engineering aspect or design aspect is maximum time people waste in the quality checks or standardizing the uh, best practices within the engineering team itself. So that is saving a lot of time. So this metrics will capture those reports, and those reports, whatever we say as a report, it is again saved in the platform itself. It can be you on need basis if you want, that can be exported as a different other formats as well. And if you same platform you can use for your presentations also in case if you want to do your quality improvement presentation to your top management, the same metrics can be very well utilized, and the way you want to represent also can be customized and showcased to your management. So in that way it is possible. On the complaint standpoint, I need to understand that more in detail, exactly what you are trying to ask for. Accordingly I would be able to answer that part.
Okay, so Sam, we have one more question. So it is in the continuation of the first question. So the question is it same like Q checker in Katia V5?
Yes, as of now, so the Q checker, the roadmap of Q checker is this quality rules, because now you may be aware almost all OEMs started the journey or they are in the migration transition phase to platform. So they want to have the capability of that on the platform, because here the advantage that you get more than Q checker is, so in case you want to do a multi-cax environment, so you may have data coming from CATIA, you may have data coming from SolidWorks. So drawing data can come from other sources also. And there if you want to do a check, basically. So this quality rules is improvised in that direction also. So in that way, what I would say is it is it's an improvised version of QChecker.
Okay,
And
thank you, Sam.
yes,
Okay, so we have one more question. Which version of 3D experience we have these check rules?
okay. So I think I pointed this as well in the presentation. So this was introduced as a portfolio from 2021X, and now we are in 2024X, and it is very matured now because it started with 300 OOTP checks. Electrical and other critical topics were not there, and now it has matured and it has crossed thousands of checks, and it is now we're in the third release, and hopefully by November we will have another improvised version as well.
Okay, so we have next question. Will it be possible for any size assembly model check in web view?
Sorry, come again.
Will it be possible any size assembly model check in a web view?
No, see, the web check is not happening in web layer. If you see the, maybe I'll just go back to, we have time. If there is no too many questions, maybe I can show that. So the check actually is happening on the native layer in the CATIA. It is within the CATIA. Creation of profile is happening on the web layer because for that you don't want a CATIA application to run in the background. You're just organizing the checks in a structured way. So only that is carried on the web layer. But running the checks on the CAD data, it has to be on the CATIA side only. And the assembly, whatever I showed you, it has a minimum of 1,000+ parts. So that's the reason we took an aerospace example, which will have more complex parts and mainly intricate data inside. So it can manage larger assemblies as well. Not a problem. Again, not saying that you should have a better hardware to manage that also. Yes. So maybe I will add one
Okay,
more point. See, for example, you want to the entire vehicle data you don't want to do. If you want to do, you can do it on a sub-assembly level also. In case if you are more concerned on the time to download the data or the performance aspect, we have helped the customers to configure in those aspects also to have run this on the sub-program level. So it will save a lot of time. Yes.
okay, thank you, Sam. So that was the last question we had. I think we are on the closing of our webinar. So thank you, Sam. So I would like to thank Mr. Sam for delivering a very insightful webinar today. I am very confident it was very helpful for our audience today. So I also would like to thank our audience for taking their time out and joining this session. If you have any queries related to the subject matter expert or any other requirement, you can always connect with us. You can reach out to us at any time and we would be happy to address your queries. Please do keep an eye on our upcoming seminars and webinars. You can follow us on our social media platform for same. So thank you. Thank you everyone.
Thank you,
Okay,
everybody.
yes, yeah, just a second. I think we have one more question.
Mhm.
Uh, so please, I request our attendee to please write that question. As we have time, we can take, I think, few more
No
questions.
problem. We can, sure.
Yes, uh, he's actually typing maybe question. Okay, 3D experience is merged with valid, right?
Sorry,
Validate, right? 3D experience is merged with validate, right?
validate right in the sense I don't understand.
Mm,
See, Validate is another checking tool on the other platforms. They are asking whether it is possible
No, no. Say
to
here
merge.
actually,
future.
yeah, understood. There are many quality tools that we have come across. Uh, to give a simple example for you, so we are working with a larger global OEM. So they had an in-house developed quality tool for the same aspect. The reason why people want to come out of those n number of tools that are already available in the platform or on different other sources is uh, so someone who can spend time on doing an R&D and improvise is always a challenge, because the tool whatever you mentioned similar to that, there are many other quality checking tools I have come across. So the challenge or the problem what they face is go over the period of time, there is the lack of resource or a skill set to improvise those tools. At some point of time those tools are coming to end of life. So to stop all those challenges, and we found that having this by default capability in Ketia within the portfolio will help a larger audience. That's the reason we came with this approach. So your customers can stop using all the other tools, or maybe they can see and evaluate these kind of by default capability on Ketia, which will be beneficial for them. That is the actual reason. And QChecker was the tool which we kind of acquired, and it's our partner tool, and we thought of improvising the skill capabilities on platform. But similar to this, there are many other tools, yes. But I'm with that particular tool which you have asked, I have not seen any integration with platform. That request has to come from that software developer. If they are interested, maybe they can collaborate or put a point. But what I personally see is people want to come out of those custom tools and they want to start using the OOTB and reduce the burden.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
Sam. So we have one more question. So can you
Mm.
please show us user interface or toolbar of quality rule in native app side?
Yeah, I think it was there in that video. Maybe I need to then go back to that video. So that's the reason I recorded that video and showcased to you. So this whatever you see here.
Your screen is not shared,
Yes,
Sam.
yes, yes, yes. Sorry for that. I'm sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. So right now, whatever you see is the CATIA interface for quality rules. The bottommost what you see is mainly for creating custom checks. Maybe I will just scroll down to the place where you can see the actual execution of tools. Yes, exactly this place. So this is the interface where you can search the quality checks, run the quality checks, view the history of reports, save the report. So the bottom you can see the strip, quality rules reuse. Reuse is nothing but I am just reusing the quality rules defined by the manager. So these set of commands are mainly for creating custom checks or doing all those operations that we demonstrated during the session. So that is the reason I don't want to show PPT or video. I wanted to show it lively on the tool.
Okay, thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Okay, so we don't have any more questions. I think we are at our end of our seminar. So thank you, Sam, for interactive session, and thank you, audience, for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.